He is the master of Western philosophy. Kant confessed, "It was he who awakened me from the nightmare of rational dogmatism." Russell borrowed a branch of his thought and proposed the farmer hypothesis that people are familiar with in the three-body problem. Popper stood on his shoulders and overturned historic determinism. Hayek praised his contribution to the theory of freedom and regarded him as a pioneer of evolutionary rationality. He is David Hume, the Scottish Enlightenment master of the 18th century, the greatest empiricist and agnostic. There is inexhaustible Shakespeare in the history of literature, and the inexhaustible in the history of thought is none other than Hume. Hume set off at least 4 revolutions in the history of civilized thought. 1. Epistemological revolution. Correlation does not equal causation. In his masterpiece, A Treatise of Human Nature, Hume shockingly pointed out that correlation does not equal causation. For example, if a person presses the toilet flush and an earthquake occurs, it would be absurd to believe that the flush toilet caused the earthquake. Revolution in human nature. Human beings are irrational creatures. Hume believed in A Treatise of Human Nature that it is emotion, not reason, that determines people's words and deeds. Reason is, and can only be, the slave of passion. 3. Revolution in business thought. Business brings virtue, freedom, and peace. From ancient times to the present, backward countries in the East and West have been very afraid of free trade. They believe that businessmen enslaved the people, aroused suspicion, and corrupted morals. Hume also justified the commercial society. He believed that people lived in cities and frequently participated in social activities, which enriched their knowledge and improved their cultivation. They could enjoy mutual communication and learning. With the progress of commerce and manufacturing, law and politics would also be improved. Barbarism, cruelty, and superstition would gradually decrease. Hume even believed that even if luxury was harmful, it would not damage social order, because in a society that pursued luxury, diligence, knowledge, and humanity also existed. The luxury and vanity of the rich would benefit the poor because it expanded the demand for hired labor. Political and ideological revolution. 3 principles of modern rule of law: private property, consent, and contract. Liberty, equality, and fraternity are the 3 primary colors of the French Enlightenment, and they are also the 3 principles of justice in the eyes of many modern people. However, these abstract, beautiful words have no boundaries, no specific reference, and no path to implementation. Long before the French Revolution, Hume proposed the 3 principles of modern rule of law of the Scottish Enlightenment: private property rights, transfer by consent, and compliance with contracts. Hume's 3 principles clarify the boundaries of public and private authority, making it less likely to cause ambiguity and more operable. Together with the ideas of Montesquieu and Adam Smith, he shaped the constitutional rule of law in Britain and the United States that continues to this day. Moreover, every country that abides by Hume's 3 principles has therefore moved towards stability and prosperity. Hume further advocated humble politics. Politics cannot exaggerate rationality and transform human nature, but must understand and adapt to human nature. To this end, he put forward the hypothesis that all politicians are scoundrels and advocated for the first time that convention is superior to natural reason. Today we will look at the ideological revolution brought to us by this inexhaustible person, David Hume. When we focus on the emptiness of human life and consider the ephemerality of glory and wealth, perhaps we are flattering our own lazy nature. Custom is the best master. When self is not considered, there is no room for pride or humility. Malice is an unprovoked desire to harm another person in order to gain pleasure from comparison. Good times make our energy idle and useless, making us unable to feel our own strength, but obstacles awaken this strength and use it. It is labor itself that constitutes the main factor in the happiness you pursue. Any enjoyment that is not obtained through hard work will soon become boring and uninteresting. No matter what kind of talent a person is endowed with, if he does not know that he has this talent and does not form a plan suitable for his talent, that talent will be completely useless to him. I am most willing to seize the opportunity to admit my mistakes. I think that such a spirit of returning to truth and reason is more glorious than having the most correct judgment. An excessive courage and heroism, especially when it is shown in dangerous situations, goes a long way in embellishing a heroic character and makes a person an object of admiration for future generations. Nature has endowed man with countless desires and needs, but has given him weak means of alleviating these needs. Only society can make up for a person's shortcomings. Careers and actions fill a lot of voids in people's lives. History is not only a valuable part of knowledge, but it also opens the door to many other parts and provides material for many fields of science. Ability is always related to its realization, whether this realization is real or likely to be realized. Noble competition is the source of all excellence. Habits are the greatest guide in life. Be it cruelty, be it love, be it thoughts, feelings, or observations, they are all understanding. People who adapt their environment to their temperament are happy, and people who can adapt their temperament to all environments are better. If everything were infinitely abundant, there would be no selfishness, no injustice, no property rights, no ethics. Virtue can be thought of as a means to achieve a certain end. The means to that end are valuable only if that end is valuable. People are often most prone to errors when they are most sure of themselves and full of arrogance, when emotion dominates their judgment without due prudence, which alone can save them from the most absurd mistakes. Human life is no more important to the universe than the life of an oyster. Language by its very nature is a public thing. Nothing is more surprising than the ease with which the majority can be ruled by the minority. Being a slave in this world is very different from being a slave in the other. The intellect is and should be the slave of the passions only, and has no other duty than to serve and obey them. We believe in causality not because we have rationally proven it, but because of habit. All religious fanaticism and superstition arise from selfish desires and the fear of death. If a person chooses to commit suicide, it is because, in his opinion, any existence is worse than non-existence. A man who is dominated by capricious emotions cannot be a good moralist. In the process of pursuing happiness, human beings always tend to be short-sighted and ignore long-term interests. All human actions are driven by interests. If someone holds a different opinion, we should listen to them, because truth belongs to all mankind and is not the exclusive property of any one person or country. The real purpose of philosophy is to live better. Morality does not originate from reason, but from feeling. There is nothing more painful for a rational person than to see one's reason abused. The most insignificant events are often caused by the least important causes. All human actions are driven by interests. Human behavior is usually determined by emotion rather than reason. Doubt everything until you find the hard facts. While we doubt all things, we should also doubt our doubts. Nothing hinders progress more than too much doubt. Morality is not given by nature or reason, but is formed by social customs and traditions. Reason is the slave of emotion. Our ideas and impressions often correspond to each other. Beauty is not an attribute of the thing itself, but how we feel about it. Causality is just our mental habit, not an objective reality. Selfishness is fundamental to human nature. A belief is something we cannot prove rationally, but which we still believe in. Passion is the driving force of action. Knowledge is limited, but ignorance is infinite. Fame is a vanity, but reputation is a virtue. Humor is the spice of life. The absence of the beloved makes lovers miss and lemon all the time, making them feel great pain, but there is nothing more conducive to deepening mutual affection than a short separation. Beauty is not an attribute of the thing itself, but only exists in the heart of the appreciator. The color that suits you best is the most beautiful color in the world. Impression refers to all the feelings, emotions, and emotions that appear in the mind for the first time. It has more power and is more violent. All empirical inductions derive from the finite to the infinite, and from the known to the unknown. There is no guarantee that we will obtain universal and necessary knowledge. Nothing in itself is noble or base, neither lovely nor hateful, neither beautiful nor ugly. These characteristics of things come from the character and structure of human emotions. Destroying the entire world without breaking my finger is not contrary to reason. In other words, it's not rational discussion, but human emotion that makes us retreat from the idea of destroying the entire world. We are placed in this world like a theater where the origins and causes of every event are completely hidden from us. We are neither wise enough to foresee the future nor able to prevent the occurrence of unfortunate events that would hurt us. We are hung in eternal doubt.